Hello Flight Sim fans and welcome to the Practically Geek channel. In today's video I've landed here at Kristiansand Airport in Norway, and this scenery is by Gaya Simulations and you can buy this from the Orbex Direct store. The link will be in the description down below. But before we head into the Gaya Simulations scenery, I'm going to be giving you a small look at the default airport first to show you what it will look like if you were to load into the scenery right now. And then I will take you into the Gaya Simulations scenery to show you how much they've improved this airport. Runway 03 and 21 here at Kristiansand Airport is an asphalt runway which measures in at 2,035 meters. That's equivalent to around 6,677 feet. So what will you get with the default scenery as it stands within the simulation? Well, not too bad of an airport actually. It's got quite decent default autogen buildings. The terminal building doesn't look too bad. The hangars and utility buildings again are okay. The only discrepancy I would say is this kind of church looking building down below next to the terminal building next to the hangars, and there is a small house in the car park as you can see. The ground texturing isn't the best, but really the star of the show in this one is actually the scenery around the surrounding areas of the hills of Norway. They look absolutely stunning, so you are going to get a really fantastic approach into this airport. There's a pretty decently sized car park here at Kristiansand and it has cars in it, which is great. No markings or detailing with outer perimeter fencing in the default scenery as you would imagine. The cool thing is though, it has a remote hangar and apron that is connected by this taxiway, which actually cuts across a road heading into the airport, which looks odd with those cars disappearing, kind of Back to the Future style, but a great feature nonetheless, and I hope to see some really great details in the Gaya Simulation scenery. So with that being said, let's head into that scenery now. Stick with me as we go and explore the Kristiansand Airport by Gaya Simulations. So welcome to the Gaya Simulations Kristiansand Airport here in Norway. I'm gonna apologise right now if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. In English we would just purely say Kristiansand, but I believe it's pronounced Kristiansand. Again, if I've completely butchered that, please let me know. I always try and look up the correct I can't even pronounce English words, the correct pronunciations for these foreign airports. So have Gaya Simulations improved Kristiansand Airport? That is Echo November, Charlie November. And I would say a resounding yes, they have. They really have, just like their other sceneries, the likes of Florence Airport, and I think I looked at their Zelm Airport. They've done another really amazing job to upgrade and enhance the default scenery and make it into something as gorgeous as this, and it does look amazing. You can see that attention has been made to the landside areas to enhance the car park area, the remote hangar over there with that lovely animated apron or the taxiway gate, which I'll show you in just a moment, and all the again remote hangars and stands that you've got for the smaller general aviation aircraft heading over to the kind of the landside area of Kristiansand. Seems it's got this weird and unique layout for an airport, kind of backs onto itself, and it looks amazing, surrounded by the hills and the forest here. And you can even see coming into the bottom left of shot now just how far away the fire training facility is, where they would practice on this burnt out shell of a replica aircraft, and you can see just how far it is from the airport. It's not on the airside area but way back here, and again that's another really unique way of laying out a airport. I've never seen that done before. Here's a better look at that remote stand and hangars, and you can see just below the shot there that lovely little buggy coming into the gate area, and those animated gates are now closing just after it arrives, which is a lovely little feature for Gaya Simulations to add in. If you look just in the middle of shot now, you'll see a massive hangar, which I think from what I've researched is Norwegian Army Cadets or Air Force type of building. And you can see the Thunder Flash jet on the grassy, the grass kind of square there next to the, just I would imagine an apron for aircraft to go on from that hangar. You can also see there's a connecting red gate there as well for the aircraft to go on to the main taxiway and aprons of the airport here. And it's great that Gaya Simulations have gone out their way to add in all these surrounding bits of scenery to the airport. And then just coming into shop around the back of the trees, which look like custom-made trees actually for this scenery, is a Supermarine Spitfire, which I'm pointing out on screen now on its display stand, which again is a fantastic little detail for Gaya Simulations to add into the scenery. And if you are taxiing out onto the runway, just on the taxiway on the bottom of the shot there, you would see that through the gates, and it's a great feature and it's a lovely little detail. I absolutely love it. You can also see how amazing the runway textures have been replaced to these ultra realistic ones. The level of detail in them is pretty fantastic actually. So we're now on the main apron of Kristiansand Airport, and doesn't the new terminal build, and this section here, with the black facade, looks like more of a modern area that was maybe added in more recently. And then the other bits of the terminal here with this lovely glass kind of frame, the white framework with the glass with all the different stand numbers in. There is an interior in there, but I won't, well, we will go in and I will show you what I mean by that interior in just a moment. The level of detail on the texturing around the brickwork, and coming into shot now, that beautiful custom control tower which looks fantastic, that also has an interior. Again, I will show you little bits of the interior as we go. And then the building for the fire engines, it's a shame not to see any in the building or sitting outside, but again, that's just from what I've seen in other sceneries. And just all these different styles of buildings with different bits of texturing on them. This building with gate 18 again has an interior which you can see with all the seats in. Not ultra realistic inside there, but I think the texture on the roofing, you can see like a yellow hose sitting on the roof there. Lovely little bits of realistic detailing. The ground texturing again is fantastic, what you would expect from a Gaya Simulation scenery. And then again, more sort of wire spooling and you know, different barriers, the red barriers, and then all these little garage buildings for on-site utility vehicles like the ploughing machines, which they would have in abundance here due to the snowy weather. And just to show you what I mean with the interiors in this scenery, if you sit outside of the buildings, you can see kind of, for instance, the restaurant cafe area here just to the right inside the building is a flat texture, and you can clearly make that out even by sitting outside the building itself. All the chairs are 3D, and there's a lovely level of advertisement boards in there. But what you'll see when we get inside is that everything is floating off the ground, and you can see those windows, for example, you can't see outside them, but they're not textured to look like there's an inside to them, which is pretty. I mean, I'd rather it be like this, as I'll explain as we go through the other interiors. Again, some lovely detailing on the control tower with the static custom people, the models here, and the computers and the guys inside the control tower. Personally, I'm not digging the quality here compared to, say, the Florence Airport by Gaya Simulations. The sort of the barricade, the handrail around the outside bit of the control tower is pretty flat. There's no kind of depth or 3D-ness to it. And the textures running down the control tower again don't look amazing. But with that being said, it is the control tower, and If you look up at it from the ground as a pilot or well, you'll be a passenger, but as a pilot, you might not see those inconsistencies. Again, a little example of the interior itself. All that's wrong here is it's just really low resolution. You can see that in the computer, in everything really. The floors are shiny, but there's no really sharp textures here, and it doesn't have to be. If you're gonna start packing these sceneries with high resolution textures, do it on the outside of the buildings close to where you're going to be parking your aircraft. Use it for taxiways and aprons and runways, things that you're going to see close up. You're never going to see this close up, and this is where Gaya Simulations have gone right in this scenery, and this is why the performance that I'm personally getting is pretty good. And again, you can see all those flat 2D textures for the shop fronts. There is a level of 3D to the chairs and the baggage scanners, and the new terminal is also the same. It's got a nice level of detail with some static people inside there to give a more realistic look. And again, there's 3D chairs and bags, and all the shop fronts are 2D. But again, if we head inside, you'll see that there's little bits of glass missing, there's bits of the wall missing from around the windows. And again, this isn't meant to be viewed from the inside, it is purely for eye candy from the outside. I love the new custom apron and spotlights on those stands there. They look fantastic, and I can't wait to see those in the night time for the night lighting, which we'll be checking out in a moment. The custom static aircraft on offer, the Dash 8 and the Norwegian 737-800 on the stand there are fantastic. It mentions in the features that you are able to turn these off and on. I haven't found a way to. It says it is done by the control panel. Again, I'm not too sure how to do that. Again, I would appreciate any comments below if you have this scenery and if you found a way to do that. So, running through the features of Kristiansand Airport here in Norway by Gaya Simulations, we have a accurate rendition of Kristiansand Airport with high quality models, interior modelling for the terminal and tower, custom ground cars with correct branding and types, custom animations both on the airside and non-airside areas rather, ultra high definition and accurate ground layout and texturing, custom made winter variant of the airport including ground textures, the buildings, roofs, and it accurately replicates the Norwegian winters. Extensive use of custom orthogen imagery for all of the Kristiansand city and for the approach. Custom night lighting including unique taxiway and runway lights plus custom approach lamps and lights. The airport is optimized for best performance, which I absolutely agree on. It's really well done. And we have custom made static aircrafts, which it says in the features can be toggled off and on with the control panel. Usually that control panel is in the Orbex Direct software, the Orbex Central software under the Manage tab in the airport product page or at the download section of your software, and you can go into that manage and it will turn it off and on, but that doesn't seem to be present on this airport. Before we move into the night lighting for Kristiansand Airport, I thought it would be silly not to show you the snow coverage and what the snow looks like at this airport, seeing as the features do state it comes with a lovely winter variant. And you can see the snow plow down there on the apron, and the apron looks fantastic. I don't know whether it would be treated a lot more than that. Certainly if the snowfall was bad, it would be covering quite quickly, but I think it looks pretty good. I think there's a lot of nice texturing done on where the snow is being shown and where it isn't. The car park with all the cars covered in snow, as well as the buildings, and I'm just going to get closer into the buildings of the airport itself just to show you a nice bit of detail in which I've just noticed. I absolutely love how they've implemented the snow here, kind of faded away from the building, because you can imagine the kind of the warmth and the people exiting and entering the buildings make the snow kind of disappear from the edges, so the edging around the buildings of the snowfall is pretty well done. I think you can even see the pallets have got snow on them, and I'll just show you the tops of the roofs and the aircraft before we move on. You can see the snowfall on the tops of the roofs, on the glass panels, on the Dash 8 aircraft there, and you can also see it on the Norwegian 737-800 parked up just next to my Wizz Air A320 there. And it all looks fantastic, really great implementation in the snow weather. So you will have noticed in my last few videos, including another top 5 video that I did for free downloads, that I've included some before and after shots of the night lighting. So I probably won't spend as much time in the night lighting sections as I used to, but I'll give you a good overview of what it looks like now. So let's rewind our clocks to 1 AM and check out the night lighting here at Kristiansand. And look at that, isn't that amazing night lighting here at the airport? It's, from this angle, it looks fantastic. We have lighting on the interior bits of the terminal from the tower itself. We also do have some faked interior lighting on different parts of the airport in shot here. But let's have a look around and see how they have implemented the rest of the night lighting. As I mentioned before, there is some faked interior lighting which doesn't look too bad at this airport. I've seen it implemented in many different ways so far by checking out these airports, and it's all done in different ways. Some look a bit worse than others. These look okay. I'd love to see creators taking advantage of the parallaxed type interiors seen on other airports by other creators, because they do a good job of giving you a partial interior but with no real performance loss, and you don't need to create a full interior. The taxiway edge lighting and the runway lighting looks fantastic. I'll show you the custom lamps and approach lighting that they've put into the shoreline over there in just a moment, and the new approach lights that are being custom made to stand on into the water off the shoreline here look absolutely fantastic. And look at the night lighting as you approach in your plane. It looks fantastic. The pappy lights, the taxiway edge lighting, those green edge, the green center marking lights look fantastic. And overall I think the night lighting here that Gaya Simulations have implemented is fantastic. So as I mentioned, just touching on the performance for this particular scenery, I'm getting 37 to 42 frames per second as I fly around in the drone camera. You might see an improvement in a cockpit of a plane or in the glass cockpit certainly, and yeah, it's perfectly reasonable. There's a lot of detail. The file size comes in at 1.78 gigabytes, which is again is amazing. I would have expected this to be a lot bigger, maybe 3 gigabytes to 4 gigabytes, but it's quite low, and it's really well implemented. It's really great for performance, this airport. So with that being said, I'm going to give you a look at what it was like before and after in a more closer detailed look for the montage here. Again, if you are enjoying these, please let me know. Feel free to pause at any moment. You'll be able to check out what it looked like before on the top of the screen and then after at the bottom, and spend as much time as you like in this little montage. So let's get into it now. This has been Kristiansand Airport in Norway, and this is a Gaya Simulations scenery that you can purchase from the Orbex Direct store. The link will be in the description below, as always. The price for this scenery is 24.20 Australian dollars, 18.75 US dollars. If you want to pay in euros, it will be 15.72, and in the pound sterling, it will be £13.50. Just a little reminder of the current giveaways on the Practically Geek channel. I have a Burning Blue Designs lid and head corn airport scenery giveaway. 3 people can win both sets of those airports. The link will be in the description below if you want to enter that. You have until Thursday. The winners will be announced this Friday. And then announcing next week will be my Orbex giveaway, which is fantastic. You can choose from any Orbex Direct product. Again, the details will be in the description below. 6 people can win that, which is amazing. And if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to the Practically Geek channel for more videos just like this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again very, very soon.
212, you make a left turn there now.
212, ready for approach now, and I request vectors via fuel company approach.